My name is Merete Avery. I am from Norway. I work within finance and administration, but in addition to that, I volunteer for Dystonia Europe. For the last 4 years, I've been the president of Dystonia Europe, and 2 years prior to that, I was the secretary of Dystonia Europe. I have now been in Dystonia Europe for 6 years. I am leaving the board, but I will still continue to work for Dystonia Europe. I got involved working with dystonia because 12 years ago I received the diagnosis cervical dystonia. It took some time before I received treatment, so I contacted the Norwegian Dystonia Association. And through them, I learned a lot of information and I was very impressed by the work. So later, through that organization, I became involved with Dystonia Europe. And it has benefited me in a lot of ways. I've learned a lot and I'm very impressed of all the people that work in the different organizations, all the time and all the work they do. I have been working first, like I said, as a secretary and then as a president. It's been a wide variety of work tasks and it's been very interesting traveling to conferences, and we have taken on more projects. We have a few more organizations than we were some years ago. So now we are 22 member organizations in 18 different countries. Since I'm now leaving as president, Adam Kalinowski is taking over as president. Adam is from Poland. I have a lot of faith in him because he has done an excellent job for the Poland Dystonia Association. He's extremely dedicated, and I look forward for the future and see Dystonia Europe develop even further. Before I received the diagnosis of dystonia, I had some different symptoms. I had a neck pain, headaches, and I went to several doctors and they thought it was stress. However, one morning as I was driving to work, my head turned to one side without me planning to turn my head that way. I thought that was very strange and I went back to the doctor. I received an appointment with a neurologist and I got the diagnosis dystonia. I did not get offered for any treatment in the beginning. But it became worse and worse, and I was not able to drive. I had very much problem working, and daily life was extremely challenging, and it was a lot of pain. So through the Norwegian Dystonia Association, I went to a meeting where they had a neurologist that was specialized within this, and he said it's important to seek treatment and get a second opinion. Then I started to receive botulinum toxin injections, and my life changed slowly but surely. I can now look back 12 years ago, and even between the injections, I'm much better than I was back then. It has really benefited me so much. And one of the reasons that I like to volunteer for Dystonia Europe and the dystonia community is that I don't want other people to have to wait so long for diagnosis and treatment. When it comes to treatment, in addition to the botulinum toxin treatment, I go to a physical therapist that has been educated within dystonia. And that helps me a lot. She gives me a lot of advice, and because there are, in addition to the dystonia, you can get back pain and different things. And she's really, really great in assisting me and helping me with the challenges of dystonia. I myself have not come to consider DBS since botulinum toxin helps a lot for me, but I know that a lot of people where botulinum toxin does not have a great effect, that can be a solution for some people. In addition to that, I also learned through meeting other people with dystonia a lot of different things that they do. We share things and try out, and how to live life, and that has benefited me a lot. It's been very beneficial to meet other people with dystonia, since this is a disease that is not well understood in the rest of the community. It's quite difficult to understand. Coping with dystonia, it's been a challenge and a long road, especially the first 2 years. It was difficult to come to terms with somewhat losing body language and coping with dystonia, but I received support. I have a sister that was extremely understanding. She really understands and supports me, and also the rest of my family, my husband and our children. They have learned a lot about dystonia and is a support. One thing I loved to do before I got dystonia was to go on mountain hikes, or rather the mountain peaks. Now it's a challenge for me to go for long walks, because then I do not function well the next few days. But I have learned to go for short walks. Unfortunately, in Norway, there is often a road almost up to the mountain peak, so I can drive there and I can still reach the peak sometimes.